Cooler, bullied fellow brother. Metal cooler, bullied fellow brother. Kyushu, Fukusu, metal cooler.
I'm back, thanks to the scientific prowess of the Big Getty Star.
I'm excited to talk about COOORA because he's stupid. I'm SHINJIITSU369. This is a Hidden Potential System video. In all of our Hidden Potential System videos, we take a look at a unit's full kit and where they get in and fit in around the game. Then we're going to do an in-depth analysis of their Hidden Potential System, how best to build this unit out to get the most out of him. And then we're going to go into a battle, see how many times COOORA can perform an additional attack, a critical hit, or get an evasion. COOORA's crazy. I'm not going to lie, out of all the units that came out during this celebration, this is the most fun unit that I've had the pleasure to use. So, COOORA's Wicked Bloodline, Ki +3, HP attack and defense plus 200%. The second ever Carnival LR, Metal COOORA for Isa no brother. He raises defense for 1 turn on his 12 key super and greatly lowers the enemy attack. That's the Full Metal Avalanche. I love that super attack where he gives him the little flick with his hands. Oh. Mwah, chef's kiss. Then we have the Supernova, which massively raises attack, which is a 100% attack raise, and raises defense by 30% for 1 turn, causes Mega Colossal damage, and massively lowers the enemy defense. I love COOORA. Now, just like the last video, we're not gonna read his kit. I'm gonna put it up on the screen. You can read it in English if you want to go over it. Let's just talk about what he does, where he gets in and fits in around the game. COOORA is a great villain unit on a lot of teams. The first team that comes to mind that I have a lot of fun with him outside of his own team and STR COOORA's team. Cell's team works very well having this COOORA as a floater. He doesn't link up bad with Cell. At the very least, you get big bad bosses in Fierce Battle. In my head, I don't know if they have anything else, but at the very least, you're gonna get those 2. He's a really fun unit to throw in there. The old AGL Metal COOORA is also good, and I also want to use that to segue into how you can use this unit if you don't have him in your box. So if you were not lucky enough to pull Metal COOORA, buddy, Sano brother, that's okay. You can still run this unit. How you're going to do that is, I would suggest that if you're going to do a Wicked Bloodline team, which you have to do essentially, you're going to take, if you have this COOORA right here, obviously he can be a leader. STR COOORA, who recently Extremes Awakened, is an option. If you don't have that COOORA, many people have the original AGL COOORA. He just Extremes Awakened, and he's very good. So those are 3 different units. You're not going to get a 200%, but you will get 170 and 200%. His best linking partners are going to be STR COOORA, the new LR one, the Int LR free-to-play COOORA you can get from the virtual Dokkan Ultimate Clash, and various other Metal COOORAs and COOORAs around the game are going to link up very well with COOORA. And obviously Frieza's, anyone on Wicked Bloodline, you'll get enough links to be able to do what you need to do with COOORA. Now let's just talk about what he does real quick. This is his thing. He's healing. He has a super attack nullification, which is actually very good. It comes in very clutch in multiple events. He is building a little bit, so every time he gets attacked, he's going to get a little bit more attack and defense. This COOORA needs 4 total attacks for him to be all the way built up. He gets up to 60%, gets 15% each attack. So he needs 4 attacks, he gets more ki, more attack and defense. That is good. It's not that difficult to get that. 4 attacks is not that big of a deal. At least it's not 7 attacks like Goku and Vegeta, right? And last but not least, Lord COOORA. He has a revive. And his revive is a 100% revive. No matter what. There's no condition. If you die, the only real condition is COOORA has to be the one that is dealt the finishing blow. So for example, if you're going up against STR Broly, you have to put COOORA in the last slot or the first slot depending on where your health is. So if your health is all the way at max, you will have to put physical cooler in the last slot. He'll die, and then you'll get a revive. But if you have no health, just put him in the first slot because he'll die then, and then you can revive, right? So he does have to be the one to die to get the revive, but it's a 100% full revive, and besides that, there's no other condition. He also has an active skill, and in his active skill, he heals. So this man's stupid. He's stupid dumb. He's amazing, man. I have so much fun playing with this unit. So if you have this unit, what you essentially want to do, I'm not going to really say he's a first slot unit, but his defense can be at 500k plus just at the start of turn. So he kind of feels like a first slot unit. The only condition of his super attack nullification, it has to be an unarmed super. That comes in super clutch and Broly. Broly's first 2 attacks in his first and second phase are unarmed supers, and he has a 70% chance to nullify that. It's amazing. I love that about this cooler. You'll essentially get that on the 5th turn, most likely, and worst case on the 7th turn. But by the 7th turn, you'll definitely have it, and in more difficult content, you get it the turn after you revive. Makes that easy as well. So cooler's easy. He's easy to use. He gets in and fits in well around the game on all of the villain teams. Unfortunately, he's not on transformation boost, would just make him perfect cooler. But nah. They had to go ahead and, you know what I'm saying, kill my mans. But that's what you're going to basically use him for. He can rock the first slot. He's a great floater, but I personally like him the best in the 2nd slot. Let's look at his hidden potential. Now this cooler has 3 potential builds. Okay, you can have fun with cooler. If you're lucky enough to get dupes, you can have fun with this man. You can build him all defensive, hyper offensive, or a mixture of both. I've chosen the balanced build, okay? And this is the balanced build here. Cooler needs an additional attack to get another 30% defense stack. So if he starts off, start of turn 500k defense, he gets that 1 super attack, he gets 30%, but I really want that extra 30% defense on top of that. It'll make him so strong. He can eat crazy attacks after he gets 2 super attacks. So, in order to build him balanced, he has a 40% chance to perform an additional attack. It's not guaranteed to be a super, but a 40% chance to perform an additional attack, which is not built into his kit. Cooler's cool. Cooler's cool. What the hell? Because he heals every turn. So at the end of the turn where he receives a hit, he heals 10%. If you enter the turn under 50%, he heals 10%. And he also heals an additional 5% if Metal Cooler is on the rotation. So that part of his defense is already built into his kit, but he doesn't have additional attacks or critical hits built into his kit or super effective on all types. So because of that, we also had to go ahead and soup up Cooler's crit to 15, which equals a 30% chance to perform a critical hit on every attack. I was able to do that using all this nice equipment, and I hope it comes in handy. I also gave him the ability to evade, because this is still defensive. It's an effort to balance Cooler. You never know when he'll be in that first slot. He looks a lot better after he's super attacked, so I want that chance to evade no matter what that attack is. Even if he's building up, he only needs 4 attacks with 3% chance to dodge. That's not going to make or break me. I'm definitely, like, if I'm going to get the 4 attacks, I'm going to get the 4 attacks. That's what I think about it anyway. If you pulled this cooler at 55%, I suggest you go ahead and he has the natural 10% chance to perform an additional super. If you want to balance him, you could give him an additional 2. I'm pretty sure that in the bronze equipment down here somewhere, I think for extreme class, there is a 2 additional attack and a 2, I think, attack power, something like that, or a 100. That you can give to him, giving him a 14% chance to perform an additional attack. And then maybe I would use this silver one right here, this attack and critical hit, to give him a 10% chance to perform a crit at 55%. So one more time, if you pull them at 55%, bronze additional, silver crit. That will be my suggestion if you're going to build them balanced. If you get them at 69%, if we go down here to the 1 dupe, always remember, whenever you get 1 extra copy of a unit, go down to the bottom right path first. Smack that ass on the bottom right. You have all these possibilities for additional. The evasion here, that's a luxury for this COOORA. So I would say if you have them at 69%, focus on the additional and the crit. I would build it just like this if you're going in an effort to balance this COOORA. Obviously, once you have them at 79%, you smack that ass on the top left. That's whenever you have the luxury of the evasion and you go ahead and fill out the rest of his additional attack. That way he can be stacking his defense one more time. That's helpful, man. That's helpful. Once you fill out your last two dupe paths, I would say here I would definitely go with the defensive one. And I would say up here I would certainly go with the blast. The second way to build COOORA out would be fully defensive. The way you could build him out to be fully defensive is to go a complete evasion and additional build, giving him absolutely no crit. And I would even cut down his additional to a 30% chance. So you give him essentially 14 additional and then maybe use a 1 additional, or maybe use like a gold equipment of an additional +1, and then maybe some, evasion or something that you got from a chain battle or something. You know what I'm saying? But the point is, you want the highest evasion possible, and I would say the max additional would be 16. Everything else needs to be in evasion, and use all of the equipment that you have to pump up his evasion. So theoretically, he could be at like down here. This could be an evasion, and this right here could also be an evasion. So you could add 6, that gives him 9, and then that cuts this down to 14. That's good enough. And then you could use equipment to get him an additional, I think up to 10 more evasion. So he could theoretically have about a 20% chance to evade every attack. That could be a useful build, and then give him the additional to stack his defense a little more, completely leave out crit whatsoever. That would be the defensive build. The last build would be the hyper offensive build. I would give him a maximum of 14 additional and pour everything else in the crit. So kind of how I've done here, you'll be giving him 12 crit from the equipment system, and you need to give him a minimum of 9 crit. This is an evasion, so that has to say an additional attack. There's 3 more crit there. That will give him 18. 3 more crit there. That will give him 21. You want to get him to a 25% chance to perform a critical hit if you're going with a hyper offensive build, and pour everything else into additional attack. So those are 3 different ways to build out this COOORA. He's a ton of fun, so you got to have fun with him. The great thing about this type of new equipment as well right here is I can mix and match. Let me go ahead and give COOORA an additional instead. So let me take COOORA down here and say, you know what? Instead of crit, let me try more additional. Or instead of additional, let me try more evasion, right? And I could try that if I wanted. And give him a little more defense. See how I like him with more defense. So you can mix and match with this new EX equipment. Keep that in mind and have fun and do different tests. I've been blabbing for a long time because I like COOORA, okay? I like this unit. Sue me. Let's take a look at what he can do. Thank y'all for listening to me blab. Cool out.
I'll send all of you to hell!
この世で俺にかなう者はいない。俺が宇宙最強だ。
I'll exterminate every last monkey. Take this! You can't win! How's this? Analysis complete! Farewell!
つだけにしてやる。
I've been reborn! Witness my true power! Die! Say goodbye! This fight will decide who's the strongest in the universe! Out of my sight! Yeah! I will show you no mercy! Not amused! Now then, I will end this! You're dirt! Is nothing compared to me! None can be my equal! I've been reborn! Witness my true power! Analysis complete! Die!
その程度の力ではこの俺には勝てん。見たか、これが真の宇宙最強の力だ。
お前の生命エネルギーを全てもらう。いいぞ、もっと吸い取れ。
The big Getty Star's power! Fight for your life! Die! You're finished! I will show you how! You don't stand a chance! The strongest in the universe! Here! Consider yourself space dust! A senseless savage like you has done nothing but waste my time!
Because you want to, you will get to do